And when you call on Rasulullah ﷺ, again, you have a line of argument that people try to raise, but he's living. He's living. Prophet ﷺ said that when the prophets die, the earth doesn't eat their body. Okay. Because the earth doesn't eat their body, does it mean they're living? Or this is just a miracle from Allah? Point number one. Point number two, if Rasulullah ﷺ was not dead, then the Sahaba committed a grave crime by burying a man alive. Isn't it? If he wasn't dead, then what did they do in burying him? This is nonsense. This is error. Clear error. The point is that Rasulullah ﷺ is dead. And this, we know this happened when he first died. Omar came in and he was upset. People were saying that he was dead. And he threatened people. He stood up there with his sword and said, anybody who says that the Prophet ﷺ is dead, you're going to lose your head. People backed off. Abu Bakr came, he went in, checked the Prophet ﷺ, lifted up the garment, saw he was dead, kissed his forehead, put it back, and came outside, pushed Omar aside. He said, whoever was worshipping Muhammad ﷺ, know that Muhammad is dead. But whoever was worshipping the Lord of Muhammad, then know that the Lord of Muhammad is ever living. Right? So, the point is that to call on anyone who cannot answer your prayers is worship. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Ad-du'a huwa al-ibadah. Calling, ad-du'a, to make dua, to call on, from da'wah means to call. It is worship in its essence. That is the essence of worship, calling. We say, Ya Allah. If you say, Ya Rasulullah, you're involved in worshipping the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. That's why in the masjids where you see people like to put up these plates, ornate plates, it says, Ya Allah, Ya Rasulullah. This is wrong. It's wrong. Now some people say, well, don't we say in our tashahhud, As-salamu alayka ayyuhar rasul? Don't we say this? Peace be on you, O messenger. Don't we say this? This is not in our tashahhud. Yes, it is in the one that the Prophet ﷺ taught us. But Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, in Sahih al-Bukhari, he informed that when the Prophet ﷺ was living among them, they used to say that. But when he died, instead they said, As-salam ala nabi wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be on the messenger and Allah's mercy and blessings. They didn't say alayka anymore, ayyuhar rasul or ayyuhar nabi. They said as-salam ala nabi. Now scholars have differed as to whether you should follow what Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said or whether we should just go with what the Prophet ﷺ initially taught. The proper methodology is to go with what Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said. Why? Because he said, we used to, not just I used to, that may be a personal thing on his part, but he said we, the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, and there are a number of other narrations of other companions saying the same thing. So, if we now are going to understand what Prophet Muhammad taught us, do we understand it as our own minds tells us, or do we understand it the way that the companions of the Prophet ﷺ understood it? This is the crux of the matter. Our understanding of Islam should depend on how the companions of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ understood Islam. Otherwise, you will end up with all kinds of interpretations.